Hi, my name is Wayne Jacobs. I'm the co-founder and CEO of 1 in a Million. Yeah, so 1 in a Million started back in 2005. Myself and another gentleman by the name of Matthew Band met to discuss and to look at how we could reach out to the disadvantaged children and young people right across our district. That led us on to our first project in 2006, and we rolled our projects out ever since then, working right across all the communities here in the Bradford Metropolitan District. Yeah, really important to us is our foundations, built on our values and putting the child at the heart of everything we do, which is really the most precious thing that we do as an organisation. Whatever we do across the organisation, it's the child at the heart of all we do. Then we have our values, which are compassion, honesty, integrity and excellence. And I always say like this, if you're going to be involved with our organisation, if you're going to be a part of 1 in a Million, be that employed or voluntary, anything that you do to support us, you must have compassion for children and young people. You must work on their behalf with sheer honesty. Have integrity as you represent them, as you represent yourself, as you represent our organisation, and as you represent our district. And then excellence. We are not saying we're excellent. What we are trying to do is bring excellence to some young lives who maybe because they've been born in a different part of their city or district, they don't have some of the opportunities that are afforded to others. That's kept us really and kept us helping to build on our foundations. Alongside that, we had our hub and spoke model, which we knew from the start how we would grow our work. And then obviously it was all about the passion that drove us and taking us forward to advance that work across the district. So quite simply, for us to engage children and young people, especially from areas where sometimes they, as our name says, we're trying to help them to find out who they are and why they are. And so the name and our term 1 in a Million is all about them. It's about them being 1 in a million. And then it's about us finding their passions and interests. And we use sports, arts and enterprise to engage them. So lots of sporting projects, lots of the arts and lots of enterprise projects, but we have some in there that there are foundations in those activities. So football, cricket, rugby, athletics are always in there. Drama and dance are always in and around there. And then any enterprise programs that we've built onto that. Over the years, we've outworked our vision through our community projects, our school, our positive lifestyle centre, yacht, and our fundraising and what we call our corporate events and sponsorship activities. So our community programmes, as I mentioned, started in 2006 up in Canterbury here in Bradford. And what we've tried to achieve from then is to grow the organisation. Really, that means to grow our connectivity with children and young people in the 5 constituencies against our district. And how we do that is we look to engage them through our youth and kids clubs and other activities, drop in some taster courses, again trying to find their passion and what really motivates them and what helps them with their well-being. And then if we can find those passions, we can find those what their interests really are, we can move it to our development centres and hopefully get them some kind of qualification, so accreditation, and also whilst we're working with them individually, maybe to overcome some difficulties or some areas in their life, some informal education around that. And that's the nub of what we do really. How can we meet a young person, a child, and support them through, and hopefully at one point as they come to the brink of their adult life that they're ready to engage in society and even into the world of work.
My journey started in 2006 when I attended the first ever project at Grange School. I grew up in Canterbury Estate where 1 in a Million's projects were initiated. I then took a referee course and was volunteering on Saturday mornings at the project. I then moved over to the organisation as employee at 2010 where I became an apprentice in the community department, working in both Canterbury and Biley estates. I then joined 1 in a Million's alternative provision. I spent 4 years there before moving on to positive lifestyles and then into my role in 2017 as pastoral head of year. 1 in a Million's given me an opportunity to have a career and to give something back to the community and to work with those children and young people that I worked with at a very young age and invest time into children and young people of Bradford. I think there's only 4 fitting words, and that's compassion, honesty, integrity and excellence. They're the schools and 1 in a Million is a wider organisation's values, something that employees, volunteers, parents and our young people live by.
I first became involved about 12 years ago when my oldest girl now started going to football on a Friday night and cricket and stuff, so it was like multi-sports. They sort of got me going up to Grange School to do it with them, and I just sort of followed on from there and carried on helping out. Started off in youth outside doing sports activities on a Friday night. They used to come up and help out as well as take part in stuff. So they'd give out oranges and stuff like that and drinks and stuff for the rest of the children that were there. And it just sort of went from there. Then my partner got involved. She now works with us, Ursula. So it's just a family affair, I think, on Canterbury for us. Really changed them to the best. Chloe, which is my middle daughter, she now works in the school at the 1 in a Million free school, so she's gone on to working with young people as well. My youngest daughter, Shannon, she's now at university training to be a teacher. And my oldest girl, Tina, she comes and helps out in kids clubs still and still works with us. It really humbles me sometimes when I see the young people that I'm working with now, and because I've worked there for such a long time, on what they've gone on to become. I mean, like my girls have all gone on to do something different, working alongside kids and stuff. And then you've got other people that have left there now, that are now at university learning to be lawyers and stuff like that. So it's really good to make that I've had that impact in their lives.
I got involved in 2009 as a volunteer. A couple of sessions later, brought my kids along. And a couple of years later that, I ended up being responsible for all of Monday nights athletics. And it's been, 12 years now. So we've had hundreds of children who've come just to have fun in athletics because of our low coach to children ratio. Normally have about 4 children to 1 coach. So just had lots of fun, time to run around and just be involved in being active in a safe environment. From that, there have been some children who've shown a real desire and aptitude to take athletics further. So they come to our development centres in Biley, also through in other parts of Bradford. And those children have had the opportunity to represent Bradford or West Yorkshire, the English schools, national competitions in Birmingham or Gateshead, and win medals nationally. So that's been fantastic for them. We've had some of them who have not then gone on with athletics after that, but written to us to say that without their involvement in 1 in a Million, they wouldn't have had the confidence to either apply to university or to be able to do their interview. That's been fantastic for us to hear. That's been more than just sport. From the point of view of volunteers like myself, I've had the opportunity to 1 in a Million to become an England coach tutor. And also because of my specialism in triple jump, then to represent England as a national coach and international competitions in the Czech Republic and in the Channel Islands as well. So things that I would never have had the opportunity to do without my volunteering 1 in a Million 12 years ago.
So we first got involved working with 1 in a Million way back in 2010, I think, when we had what was called our Good Neighbour programme, through which we worked with small grassroots community projects, and we met Craig and Wayne, and their vision, they kind of shared the same vision. So as I said, our purpose is to help put people on a path to a better everyday life. So that's people in disadvantaged areas, and meeting the charity, they were doing exactly the same thing. So we just worked naturally together. We originally funded 2 workers, one in Shipley and one in Keighley, and then our programme started to develop, so we started to work more with national partners. So we have some education partners who we work with, and we used that partnership to help the school as well. So we funded National Literacy Trust run the Words for Work programme in the school. So I volunteered on the programme a couple of weeks ago with some other volunteers from work, and that's all about giving young people the communication skills they need for the workplace. We fund a local education consultant who does a bespoke reciprocal reading programme. It's important to support local charities because for us it's more than just providing funding, it's actually getting to know our partners, and our partners work in the areas where we have lots of customers, so it's important that we help to make those people's lives better in the community, and working together we can make sure that we're focusing on what the community's needs are, rather than just saying we want you to do this project and we fund it and that's it, we've gone. We actually work closely together, and as I say, we've been working together now for over 10 years and the partnership just keeps developing.
So I've been at 1 in a Million for just over 8 years. I first started as a football coach for the community. I play for Bradford City Women, so we joined with 1 in a Million to get our girls' development centre back up and running. I then was fortunate enough to have a role within the alt-ed provision, working with the students in there, delivering some sports coach sessions. From that, the school then opened and I was offered a unqualified teacher's role, so a full-time role with 1 in a Million. I then did that for 2 years and was fortunate enough to be offered to stay on at 1 in a Million and do my teacher training. So I stayed at 1 in a Million, got my teacher training qualification and became a full-time qualified PE teacher. From that, I've then made the step to be head of department. All that within the 8 years that I've been at 1 in a Million. I've been really fortunate to be given those opportunities to get to where I am now. Also oversee our schoolhouse system, so something that's really exciting. It's the values within 1 in a Million that makes it special. The behaviours, the attitudes that we can see in the young people, the changes that it has with the young people we work with, but also the staff. It really drives the organisation and makes it a nice place to work.
We have a free school here at 1 in a Million. That literally came about because of the progress we were making as a charity working in the district. We'd been working with children and young people. We were looking to help and support their young lives. And we realised that we could do so much after school in the time we had with them, but we also realised that if you can really get into education and try and support them and help them through education, you could make a bigger difference. So when the free school movement came around from the government, which was small schools, small class sizes, disadvantaged areas, discipline, vocational, it fitted what we've been doing as an organisation, as a charity. So it was great to partner with Bradford City Football Club, where I'm stood right now, and develop the school and bring it into being really. And it plays a major part of the hub and spoke model because we can now use that wonderful facility after school to bring some of our young people we work with in different areas into that facility to run our development groups and centres. So it's been a big plus for us, and it's one that really helped us to grow our vision.
I think there's a number of things that make 1 in a Million so special, but one of the biggest reasons is actually the fact that it's such a small school. There are very, very few schools that would only have 375 students as a secondary school. But by making sure that we are that small, it means that we know our students. We know their passions, we know what they like, we know what they struggle with. And it guarantees that no student 1 in a Million is ever just a statistic, but we actually know them as an individual. When we speak to our students and we ask them what they've taken from 1 in a Million, they often talk about the values and how important it was to them that they didn't just learn their academic or their enrichment subjects, but they also learned about the values and how they're able to carry that with them as they leave school and go into community and work and study in Bradford as they move on. I think another aspect that makes 1 in a Million such a special school is its commitment to enrichment. We know that schools have to teach a broad and balanced curriculum, but that nearly always focuses on the academic. 1 in a Million prioritises the holistic education of its students, so we think about enrichment and we think about all the different opportunities that some of the students of Bradford, children of Bradford, might not have had. So we think about that maybe they want to do sport, or they want to do art, or they want to do enterprise, and then we make sure that there are opportunities, whether it's basketball, mixed martial arts for the sports side of things, as well as football and the more traditional sports. For the arts, we have performing arts, we have fine art, we even have hair and beauty sessions as enrichment, so they can travel down that path if they're interested in it. And for the enterprise side of it, we have groups who are actually working on building their own businesses. We even have one student who has successfully created her own business of its fruit decoration, and that's now a successful business. So we're absolutely committed to that holistic education of an individual, and how being at school is so much more than being in a classroom and just learning the academics.
I was recruited in the summer of 2013, and I walked in school on the first day with the students. So there was me, the other members of staff, and the new students who were starting that day. The school's grown organically since then, so year on year there's been another year group and consequently more staff added. So we started off with a handful of staff and 1 year group of students, and then we grew over 5 years until we were at full capacity. There are lots of organisations out there that profess to be values-led, but 1 in a Million is a genuinely values-led organisation. What I see is the students coming into school, learning and understanding what a value is and learning to live those values. And what's great for me is I know that they're going to go on living those values for the rest of their lives, and that's really important to me. What's great about working at 1 in a Million Free School is that I have the opportunity to carry on mentoring staff. It's always been really important to me to share my experiences and strengths and things that I've learned over a large number of years and pass that on to the next generation. We have apprenticeships that 1 in a Million have done right from the day one when I first started. And we have other people that are working on the staff who started with us as trainees. We have 10% of our staff currently are staff that have come through either the apprenticeship scheme or a trainee scheme, and that's really important to me, and that's quite a large number of staff to still be with us, to have grown and developed. There's lots of opportunities for people to do that.
So I started at 1 in a Million Free School in September 2015 on a business administration apprenticeship on a 2-year course. Successfully passed that and then was given the opportunity to start on a full-time basis as an administrator. I then got another opportunity to work with another colleague in the data team. I've been working there since in that team and I absolutely love it. 1 in a Million have given me so many opportunities every year to follow the career paths that I want to. And that's making a difference every day to young people, whether that's at school, in the community or anywhere in Bradford.
I started volunteering in 2016 in the Free School, and about 6 months later I became a learning support assistant. Following year I became a head of year within the Free School and also a community activator within the Bailey hub, and now present day I'm currently the deputy safeguarding lead on top of a head of year 11 role as well within the Free School. The children and young people, and knowing just how much of a difference that myself and my colleagues can make is such a strong passion of mine, and keeping those children happy, giving them opportunities, experiencing things with them is a real strong motivator. It makes 1 in a Million unique, and it makes me unique and all of the children and young people and everybody that works within the organisation. The sense of togetherness between the school and the charity really helps us get out and reach and support a vast amount of young people within Bradford.
My name is Alan Wintersgill. I'm chairman of Naylor Wintersgill Chartered Accountants in Bradford. As a company, we've been supporters of the 1 in a Million charity for many years and helped them with their fundraising. I am delighted at the work that the charity does in the Bradford community, and in 2016 I was very pleased to be asked to join the Board of Trustees. I've also been associated with Woodhouse Grove School for over 30 years, including the last 10 years as Chairman of Governors. During this time, we have provided boarding bursaries to a national organisation called Royal Springboard. We have always wanted to do a similar project in the local community, and following discussions between James Lockwood, our headmaster, the Board of Governors and the 1 in a Million Academy Trust, we decided that we would award 2 bursaries to students from 1 in a Million every year as part of a Memorandum of Understanding. At Woodhouse Grove, we regard this relationship as very valuable and a very successful one.
I came to 1 in a Million Free School in 2016 and it's been 5 years now. So when I first came, I was a very shy, timid little girl who was petrified about her next steps, but I was able to express myself through my academic success, and despite not being able to talk to everyone freely. But eventually I found a group of friends, and then I was truly being myself around them. 1 in a Million has made a really big difference in my life. I've been able to find the worth I never thought I had, the capabilities I never had, and also they've given me the Spotlight, the Stars Award, and now this scholarship, so they've been acknowledging me right from the beginning. I've been volunteering for the charity since year 8, so I've been able to help young people realise their potential, and the children with special educational needs, give them a reason to smile, and it's helped me smile as well. 1 in a Million has made such a big difference in my life. I've been able to find my worth. I'm really excited about the 2-year bursary at Woodhouse Grammar School that I've been awarded by school. Also, I'm really nervous because the school is all I've ever known and the teachers are all I've ever known. I'm really nervous to be making new friends, but it's a big opportunity and I really want to take it on with all the confidence I've got.
Our Positive Lifestyle Centre, we used to bring primary schools into, it was based here at Bradford City Football Club, we used to bring primary schools to the club, and really it was about informal education, right from nutrition to friendship to positive me to their confidence levels, all kinds of different informal education that schools would like to work with young people on. But what they found was when in their setting those children couldn't be vulnerable really and couldn't share, because it was too normal, if you like. So to bring them somewhere different, to break the ice, to give them a tour of the stadium, to let them look round, and then to take them into a classroom and be really intimate where they could share some of their difficulties, issues, thoughts, but also educate them on stuff that they weren't aware of as well. On our journey as a charity, we opened a pupil referral unit and took that from a small group into an independent school, which finished with a good Ofsted. And so another project that we ran really successfully in that city and was here to help the children and young people of Bradford. Well, we're delighted that our hub and spoke model now covers right across the 5 constituencies of Bradford. It's important for us that we've done that. We want to reach as many children and young people as we can. When we first launched the charity, we hoped to work with 1,000 children and young people a week. Thankfully, we've gone on to surpass that, and we've gone on to the 5 constituencies, working within communities within them. But what's really important for us, not just that we grow our work in terms of numbers, because I think lots of people could do that. What's important for us is the depth of our work and how we really impact a child's life. So we brought our theory of change in, we work towards that. That is the standard that we look to trying to meet. That is how we're educating children and young people, using our theory of change, but also our organisation. So everybody who's connected to us, right from funders, staff, volunteers, anybody who's connected to the organisation, and now we have included in our theory of change so they understand it to the very best they can to make sure that what we deliver to our children and young people is the excellence that we're trying to achieve.
I first engaged with 1 in a Million when they were interested in clarifying their theory of change. My first impressions were just what a great bunch of people. An incredible range of skill sets, but there was one thing that united them. They've got such a heart for Bradford. They really want to see this city prosper, and they've also got such a heart for the young people within it. They genuinely want to give them the very best opportunity they can to flourish and to take an active role in the life of this city.
To help us play our part in what we do here in the district, we've brought in our community partners, our corporate partners and our ambassadors. Our community partners, we're delighted to have the Bradford City Football Club, Bulls Foundation, Yorkshire Cricket Foundation, England Athletics, Yorkshire Dance, to name a few. And we really do appreciate their support, because as we look to support and help our children and young people that we work with, those pathways are key to what we're trying to achieve. So we're very grateful for those who support us. We also have our corporate partners. They're local businesses that are just as passionate as we are to impact the children and young people's lives. They support us in different ways. One of those may be a monthly give to our organisation, right through to getting involved in our fundraising events, and right to face-to-face meetings with our children and young people, giving them the experiences of a world of work.
I was originally invited to a few events, such as the Stars events. That led into me doing some of the charity events, for example the Yorkshire Three Peaks, the Welsh 3000s and the cycle event. I think what really attracted me to 1 in a Million was its connections with Bradford, a local Bradford charity that supported the disadvantaged young people of Bradford. Like I said, I am a Bradford businessman. The city has been good to me, so I wanted to give something back to Bradford and support those children. Bradford has some of the most disadvantaged areas in the country. People in those areas really need support. I think especially in recent years with government cuts, charities such as 1 in a Million have become more important.
I think the main thing for why it's important to me is that it's a local charity for local children and making a local direct impact. That's really important to us.
So we're delighted that we have those. We've also brought in ambassadors. These ambassadors are really important for me. They're people who are from our district or who have worked in our district and made a big impact. It's important because our story to our children and young people and how we encourage them is wherever you're born, wherever you're from, you can go on and achieve in our district. Whichever school you go to, whichever place you may have been born in, it's so important that you recognise that you can go on and be successful in your field. And that's what our ambassadors, corporate partners and community partners are all about.
Well, I'm really proud to be one of the ambassadors for 1 in a Million, and the school and the charity. So what it is just about championing the work that the school does and the charity do across the region, and everywhere I attend, it's always proud to be something to be associated with. I think some of the work that they do within the communities of Bradford is amazing, and so anything we can do to help the school and the charity, I totally wholeheartedly support everything that and the values that they stand for.
So we've been delivering our work for 16 years now. I'm delighted that we've got lots of children and young people that have gone on from working with our organisation, being supported by our organisation, into further education, into employment, into their passions and all that they really want to try and achieve as a young person. We've got young people who've come through our projects from being less than teenagers into those worlds of work, into those different places that they've gone on to become and develop their life, that we've helped them to do that. Our hope for the future is that we continue with our theory of change. We really do continue to impact a single child's life. In able to do that, as we've grown now, and I've spoke about our hub and spoke model being in the constituencies, one of the passions for ourselves is to take on some assets to help those communities even further with our work. So we really hope in the next few years that we can start to build our assets across the district. Again, not for anything for a 1 in a million purpose, but to impact a child and young person's life. And I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has supported us on our journey so far. All those corporate partners, all those volunteers, all those that's engaged with us over many years. May I say a huge thank you to you. We often say we only play our part, and without you we wouldn't have been able to do that. So a huge thank you on behalf of all at 1 in a Million.